Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Founders Network TV. Today we're with another one of our entrepreneurs in residences, Guy Levine from Return. So first of all, Guy, what is Return and how did it come about?
Return is an organisation that was set up to ultimately help other brands acquire new customers, and not only acquire them but also to acquire them in the most profitable way, because I was fed up of hearing, even in the digital era, that people didn't know which half of their marketing budget was actually making them any money.
Cool. So how long did it take to get your breakthrough? Like, when did you know the idea would work?
I think this is like the curse of the founder. Like, has it worked? You know, there's 40 something of us. We've grown year on year, but every day I kind of walk in and think there's something else to do. So I think compared to someone that's, never measure yourself against anyone else, but if you think you're at 2 people, has it worked? I don't think there's such thing as traction. It's just like keep on going until you either achieve the bit that you wanted to achieve, or just decide that the pain's too great.
So I suppose based on that then, what's the biggest lesson that you've learned in business and how has it influenced the direction of Return?
I think biggest lessons have been genuinely to make sure that you are the least intelligent person in the room. But secondly, and the one that's actually really hard for the founder, is to work out what you're good at and to you stick at that, because as you're surrounded by more people, you effectively have less to do. And that's where you have the decision to say, actually, I enjoy doing less, or whether you have the decision to say, right, now I'm going to find my sweet spot.
So what is the best piece of business advice that you've ever received?
When I was first starting out, my family has a history of family businesses. One that was the big family business where kind of half the family worked. And when I was starting out, my uncle just used to say to me, you can't afford it. It's either going to eat you or feed you. Now you make the choice. And I think as we've grown as a business, that eat us or feed us mentality around the investments that we make has really borne fruit, because the only thing really that's going to stop an entrepreneur sleeping at night, a founder sleeping at night, is how much money's in the bank.
So as one of our entrepreneurs in residence, how have you got any tips or advice for early stage entrepreneurs to help them grow their business and their network?
To go on the business, I think it's kind of work out what you really do, work out what the problems are that you solve, and kind of always be looking at how your customers are feeling about that problem at the time, because we all have a website, we can all launch WordPress, we all have the same programming languages, but it's that connection between kind of product and customer that makes things special. So I'd have that really clear. The other thing is that I would make sure that I had a really solid way of acquiring new customers, and that changes. For us in the beginning, it was really easy. I'd either approach my network and win business that way, and it was really cheap to do but unscalable, because once my network was exhausted, there was no new business coming in. So then I went on the speaking circuit and I'd speak to rooms of people about how to use digital to grow their businesses. And that was great, but then I was at the mercy of being booked to speak at events. And then we started going proactive in hiring a sales team, which when I was comparing it against the other 2 forms of winning business, it just looked really expensive and really tough. But I think every business needs a button that they can push when they need new business. So if you lose a customer, if you need to expand, if you want to buy something new, if you haven't got some function of being able to say, I need a new customer now, and this is what I'm going to do to get one, it's really, really hard to scale. Okay,
so moving on to our quickfire questions. So most recommended business book?
I'm a big reader. Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People. I read it when I was 17 on a lad's holiday to Tenerife, and I got thrown into the pool with the book for being a bit wet reading that. But I think it just really gave a good understanding of ultimately how to get what you want in life without the other people feeling like they've been mugged.
One thing you can't live without?
Oh, it's my phone. I'm addicted to my phone, whether it be checking the Bitcoin balance, seeing what's going on at work, or FaceTiming the kids.
Favourite productivity app or tool?
Productivity. Outlook. I think Outlook that has to be my ultimate productivity thing. App-wise, I don't think there's many apps that I'm absolutely addicted to. I'm really old-fashioned. I like using notes. I use email. And we're just starting to use Asana, believe it or not, which probably makes us sound really old school, but yeah, email.
Who's your inspiration in business?
I think, controversially, because people who know me know I kind of have a hate for him as well, but Gary Vee, for building the network and the eyeballs that he's managed to build, bearing in mind the content that he talks about and the way that he talks about it. I say every time, no one knows him, but my uncle managed to work in a family business, take it over from my grandpa, and grow it really successfully, pivot the way they did it. But people who know him have really nice things to say about him. And I think ultimately, as all we have at the end of the day is what we see when we're brushing our teeth and kind of what they say about you at your funeral to your kids. And I think he's managed to achieve both of them, and that makes him pretty good.
Explain yourself in one word.
Frantic.
And what does success mean to you?
I think this is, it's a standard definition, but I think it's being able to do what I want, when I want, with the people that I want to do it with. I think if you can do that, you can be pretty successful. And I think ultimately, that's kind of my definition of success, but I think ultimately if I could build a business that allows other people to be able to do that as well, that would be really successful and actually quite a privilege.
Brilliant. Thank you ever so much for your time, Guy.